Sometimes the person you trust most to heal your wounds is the one holding the knife. My name's not important. What matters is what happened in that office, the office where I thought my marriage would be saved, but where it was actually being destroyed from the inside. Let me take you back to where this started. My wife, let's call her Vanessa, and I had been together for 11 years, married for 8. We met in college, dated through graduation, and built what I thought was a solid life together. She worked in marketing. I was an architect. We had a nice house in the suburbs, 2 dogs, the whole picture. But somewhere around year 7, things started to crack. It wasn't dramatic at first. She became distant, stayed late at work more often, stopped asking about my day. When I'd reach for her hand, she'd pull away, claiming she was tired or stressed. Our conversations became transactional: bills, groceries, whose turn it was to take the dogs out. The warmth we used to have just evaporated. I suggested therapy. Not because I thought we were doomed, but because I believed we could fix this. I loved her. I wanted to fight for what we had. Vanessa hesitated at first, but eventually agreed. That's how we ended up in Dr. Nathan Cross's office. Nathan came highly recommended. His reviews were glowing. Saved our marriage. Incredible insight. Changed our lives. He had a PhD from a prestigious university, 15 years of experience, and a calm, reassuring demeanor that put you at ease the moment you walked in. His office was tastefully decorated, soft lighting, comfortable chairs, abstract art on the walls. Everything about it screamed safe space. Our first session seemed promising. Nathan asked us to talk about our relationship history, what brought us together, when we first noticed problems. Vanessa did most of the talking. I remember watching her face as she described our early years, and for a moment, I saw a flicker of the woman I fell in love with. Nathan listened intently, nodding, occasionally jotting notes. At the end, he smiled and said, "I think we can work through this, but it's going to require honesty, effort, and trust." Trust, that word would haunt me. We went weekly for 4 months, every Tuesday evening at 6. Nathan employed different techniques: communication exercises, homework assignments, individual reflection periods where he'd speak to each of us separately. That last part made me uncomfortable, but he assured us it was standard practice. Sometimes people need a safe space to express fears they can't say in front of their partner, he explained. Looking back, I can see the signs I missed. During couples sessions, Vanessa would light up when Nathan praised her insights. She'd laugh at his jokes a little too hard. When he suggested separate sessions, she volunteered to go first every single time. She started dressing differently on Tuesdays: better makeup, nicer clothes. When I mentioned it, she said she wanted to take therapy seriously and present her best self. I chalked it up to her finally engaging with the process. I was so desperate for things to improve that I ignored my gut screaming that something was wrong. Then came the individual sessions. Nathan would spend 30 minutes with Vanessa, then 30 with me. When I'd go in after her, the air felt charged somehow. Once I noticed her perfume lingering in the room. Another time, the chair she'd sat in was still warm. Nathan always seemed slightly flushed, distracted during my sessions. He'd ask surface-level questions, rarely pushing me the way he did in couples sessions. "How are you feeling about Vanessa's progress?" he'd ask. "I don't know," I'd admit. "She seems happier, but not with me. She's more distant than ever at home." "That's normal," he'd assure me. "She's processing. Give her space. Don't pressure her." So I gave her space. I backed off. I stopped asking where she was going when she left the house. I stopped checking her phone, though part of me wanted to. Nathan had said trust was essential, that suspicion would poison any progress we made. So I swallowed my doubts and trusted the process, trusted him. By month 3, our home life hadn't improved at all. If anything, Vanessa was more withdrawn. She'd come home from therapy energized, almost giddy, but that mood would evaporate within an hour. She'd retreat to her phone, texting constantly. When I asked who she was talking to, she'd say, "Just friends." Work stuff. Once I saw Nathan's name flash on her screen. When I asked why our therapist was texting her outside of sessions, she got defensive. "He checks in with clients sometimes," she snapped. "It's part of his care. Why are you interrogating me?" I apologized. Nathan had told me not to be confrontational, that my aggressive questioning might be part of why Vanessa felt unsafe opening up. So again, I backed down. The breaking point came on a Thursday night. Vanessa was in the shower and her phone was on the kitchen counter. It buzzed. I wasn't trying to snoop. I was literally standing right there making coffee. But I glanced down and saw the notification preview. It was from Nathan. "Can't stop thinking about Tuesday. When can I see you again?" My blood went cold. I picked up the phone. It was unlocked. She hadn't secured it after checking something. I opened the message thread. What I found made me physically sick. Months of messages. Flirtatious at first, then explicit. Photos, plans to meet, references to hotel rooms, inside jokes, pet names, and the timestamps, some sent during our therapy sessions in those individual 30-minute blocks. I took screenshots, sent them to myself, deleted the evidence of my forwarding, put her phone back exactly where it was. Then I walked outside, sat on the porch, and tried not to vomit. Everything made sense now. The way he'd tell me to give her space. The way he'd dismiss my concerns as paranoia. Separate sessions where they could be alone. The professional cover that made it impossible for anyone to question why they were meeting weekly. He'd weaponized my trust, my desperation to save my marriage, to facilitate his affair with my wife. I didn't confront Vanessa that night. I needed a plan. I contacted a divorce attorney the next morning and explained everything. She told me to document everything but not tip them off, so for the next 3 weeks I played along. We went to therapy. I sat in that office watching them perform their roles, the concerned therapist, the struggling wife. While rage boiled inside me, I installed a recording app on my phone and started recording our sessions. In my state, one-party consent laws made this legal. I captured Nathan making suggestions that isolated me further. I captured him coaching Vanessa on what to say to me. During one individual session, I left my phone recording in my jacket pocket, which I'd forgotten in the main office. The audio was muffled, but you could hear enough, their voices, laughing, and then silence followed by sounds that made their relationship unmistakable. My attorney was stunned. "This isn't just an affair," she said. "This is an ethics violation, malpractice. You could destroy his career." "Good," I said. I filed for divorce. Vanessa was served at work. I wanted her blindsided the way I'd been. She called me screaming, but I didn't answer. She showed up at the house, but I'd already moved my essentials to a friend's place. She sent a barrage of texts, some apologetic, some angry, some blaming me for driving her away. Nathan reached out too. "Professional at first. I heard about your separation. If you need support navigating this, my door is open." When I didn't respond, his messages grew more anxious. He'd figured out I knew. The divorce proceedings moved quickly. I presented the messages, the timeline, the recordings. Vanessa's attorney tried to discredit the evidence, but the recordings were damning. Nathan's voice, clear as day, making statements that proved he'd violated every ethical boundary in the book. But I didn't stop there. I filed a formal complaint with the state licensing board, including all evidence. I contacted the professional association he belonged to. I left detailed reviews on every platform where he was listed, carefully wording them to avoid defamation while making the facts clear. Within 6 weeks, Nathan's practice was under investigation. Within 3 months, his license was suspended pending a full hearing. His wife, yes, he was married to, filed for divorce. His professional reputation was obliterated. Vanessa tried to salvage things with him once our divorce was finalized, but Nathan wanted nothing to do with her. Without the forbidden thrill, without the professional cover, their connection dissolved. Last I heard, she's still single, jumping between jobs, trying to rebuild her life. The divorce settlement was favorable to me. Evidence was so overwhelmingly in my favor that her attorney advised her to accept my terms rather than drag it out. I got the house, most of our savings, and a clean break. I'm not going to pretend I came out of this unscathed. Therapy, real therapy with an actual ethical professional, has helped me process the betrayal, not just from Vanessa but from Nathan. He exploited the most vulnerable moment of my life. He took my trust, my pain, my hope, and used it to get closer to my wife. But here's what I learned. Betrayal doesn't just come from the people you love. Sometimes it comes from the people you pay to help you. And when someone violates your trust that profoundly, you owe it to yourself and to their future victims to make sure they face consequences. I don't regret what I did. Not the recordings, not the complaint, not the public exposure. Some people might say I went too far, that I should have just walked away quietly. But Nathan built his career on trust. He counseled vulnerable couples, people in crisis, people desperate for help. How many others had he done this to? How many more would he hurt if I stayed silent? So no, I don't regret it. I trusted him to save my marriage. Instead, he destroyed it from the inside. The least I could do was return the favor. Sometimes the person holding the knife is the one you never see coming. And sometimes justice means making sure everyone else sees them too.